Yes. Okay. Take out the worksheet from yesterday.
Adrian, did I get that in?
Push the doorstop in here. Take the doorstop into place. All right. Any questions on 4.8? All right. Pass it up if you have it. Nobody has it, right? Okay, let's get started then. I'm so sorry. I'll try not to interrupt you. So naming covalent compounds. That's what we're doing now. So we have different rules for naming ionic compounds, naming covalent compounds. And one of the reasons that we have different rules is that with ionic compounds, for most of them, the group 1, the group 2 metals, and the nonmetals, we know what the formulas are going to be when we combine them. For example, if we have sodium oxide, we know the formula is going to be Na2O. It can't be Na3O, it can't be NaO. That's the only possibility. On the other hand, with covalent compounds, there's more than one possible formula for some of them. For example, if we have a nitrogen and oxygen compound, it could be NO2, could be N2O4, could be N2O5. There's a lot of different ways these things can come together. So since there's more than one possible compound of nitrogen and oxygen, when we name it, we have to indicate what the formula is in the name. And so for that, we're going to use prefixes. So the rules are this. All elements get prefixes. Second element, you change the ending to IDE. Erase this stuff. Change ending to IDE. And that's the same as with ionic compounds, because for those we also change the ending to IDE. And finally, and this third rule is kind of irritating because it's one of those little details that you have to remember, and we really didn't have to do this, but somebody decided to do it. If there's only one of the first element, skip the prefix. So for example, let's say we had something like CO2. There's one of the first element, the carbon, so we're not going to put a prefix on carbon because there's one of it. If the second one, if there was one of it, we'd still put a prefix, but the first one won't get a prefix if there's only one. So this is carbon dioxide, it's not monocarbon dioxide, which is what it would be. So if there's two, then we put like H2O, right? This one has two of the first one, this would be dihydrogen monoxide. So for anything else, you always put prefixes for both, but if there's one of the first element, you don't put a prefix. All right, so let me give you the prefixes now, and then we'll start naming stuff. This will be number and prefix. So 1 is mono, 2 is di, 3 is tri, 4 is tetra. After 4, they're all really easy to remember, because if you know your shapes and you know what prefixes you use for those, like if you know 5-sided shape is pentagon, 6-sided shape is hexagon, it's the same prefixes for this. So 5 is penta, 6 is hexa. 7 is hepta.
You
What?
is doing it for you.
Okay. Okay. 8 is octa. 9 is nona. And 10
Sound like a
is
baby.
deca. What?
You sound like a baby.
Why?
You said no.
Nona. Oh, yeah. I get it.
That's scary. I don't see it.
All right, does everybody have this? Can you erase up here? All right, let me erase it.
That sounds horrible.
All right, so let's just do a few examples. So let's try CCl4. So that's almost. I'm gonna do 5 or 6 examples, and then we're done. All right, that's a lowercase L. So what's this gonna be called? Carbon what? First one's carbon. What is it? Well, there's gonna be, so there's 1 carbon, and then,
Chloride,
yeah, and there's 4, right?
chloride, tetra.
Tetrachloride. There you go. What about, I don't know, I keep doing carbon ones. So let's why not? How about this? Yeah, carbon disulfide.
It looks better saying D than I. Sounds Italian.
All right. Let's do water. So what's this going to be? Yeah, dihydrogen monoxide. So we do use mono, but only if it's on the second one. We just don't bother to use it for the first one. It's the first time. All right, let's do N2O5. What's that? Dinitrogen?
Oxide.
Yep. And we're going to throw out the A and just pentoxide. And it's weird because you don't always know when to throw out letters and when not to. I'm finished in like 30 seconds if you want to hang out.
No, I'm leaving that.
Okay. So sometimes we throw away the valve that's there and sometimes we don't. And you really just got to do a few of these and kind of get used to it. Usually if it's A and then oxygen afterwards, then you take away the A. If it's an I, like trioxide, you keep the I. Should I do a couple more or are we good with this? One more? I think that's what he said. I don't know. How about N2O4? What's
He
this?
said no, we're good, but you can do what he should do.
Dinitrogen.
10 dioxide.
Yes. Tetroxide. Questions? Okay. So that's pretty much it. Down the line, when I give you a test, you'll need to make sure you know if things are covalent compounds so that you know if they get these prefixes or not. Because if they're ionic, then they don't get the prefixes. And I either need to stand on your desk or for you to push stop, whichever you prefer.